So, hello, my name is Liz Wellbeloved. I am here today to talk to you about education abroad. Emily Graber is going to be also speaking to you about this. We hope that by the end of this presentation, you'll consider pursuing education abroad and have that experience as part of your life share at UVA. I did my undergraduate studies at UVA and spent a year on our program in Valencia, Spain. And I now advise for that program as well as for other programs in Spain, Portugal, Central America, South America, and the Caribbean.
I'm Emily Graber. Like Liz said, I'm an education abroad advisor. And in my undergrad, I studied abroad in Peru. And after I graduated college, I spent time living and working in Northern Ireland for a number of years. And I grew up partially in Canada as well. And so international experience is something near and dear to my heart. I advise primarily for programs in the UK and Ireland.
So if you have any questions during this presentation, please feel free to put them in the chat or unmute yourself and ask. This is a conversation. You don't need us just throwing information at you through this PowerPoint. Please feel free to ask us questions and turn this into a dialogue, but we'll also have time at the end of the presentation for questions. So what do you need to know about education abroad? We're going to start by sharing some of the many reasons you should participate in an experience, then introduce you to some of the resources available to you, including the International Studies Office. And then we'll finish by explaining how you can get started. So why should you study abroad? Does anyone want to give us an idea, or does anyone feel like they could unmute and just throw out a reason why you think study abroad might be a good thing for you to do? No? Okay, well, I'll tell you why you should study abroad. So having an education abroad experience is going to give you the opportunity to have an international perspective on an academic field. So you can also use the opportunity to become proficient in a foreign language. Immersion is one of the best ways to learn a language. You can focus on doing courses that work toward your major or your minor while you're abroad. Again, of course, a foreign language, or you can pursue studies in a field that's just totally different than your major or minor, just something that's interesting to you. Again, you can complete credits for your major, minor, or your foreign language requirement on an abroad program. And no matter where or what you're doing while you're abroad, we're going to work with you to make sure that you have approval for the credits before you go. It's never too early to start thinking about this, speaking to your academic advisors about how this can fit into your educational career. On our website, we do have major advising information, and that talks about timing, departmental contacts, finances, student testimonials who have been on a specific program in the major that you might be thinking of. It's a great place to start your search, but if you don't have a major or minor decided yet, you could still look at those, see which programs other students have done, and maybe get an idea if that would be a major that would be interesting to you. Not every program that we have has a major advising sheet, but we keep adding them, so do keep checking on that site. So studies have shown that after an experience abroad, students demonstrate an understanding of themselves, their ability to cope and adapt, which leads to greater self-confidence and independence. Students understand, respect, and appreciate cultural differences, and students feel like they're able to adapt to different cultures and interact effectively with those from a different cultural background. Students also self-report that they you have a greater flexibility and creativity after an abroad experience. We know employers are looking for candidates who can show cultural sensitivity, demonstrate strong communication skills, speak a foreign language, understand different cultural viewpoints. So when someone sees an education abroad experience on your resume, they're going to ask you about it. What did you learn? What challenges did you have? How did you overcome those challenges? So education abroad can give you a wealth of experience to draw on in those interviews. And when you return from an education abroad experience, there are resources that we have to help you learn how to convey your experience to employers or graduate schools. And we, again, want to emphasize that there are programs for all types of students. Your education abroad advisor can help you identify a program or programs based on your needs. The key, again, is to be proactive and plan ahead. The sooner you start this conversation, the more time there's going to be to set your goals, research your programs, and plan for your experience abroad. So we can help you research programs, but you do need to work with your association dean to make sure you know how education abroad credits will be counted. There's information on this slide and in the chat that you can see. There is a limit on how many non-UVA credits you can have, and we can work with you to identify programs based on your credit needs. So now you know some of the reasons why we think you should study abroad. We're going to talk about some of the resources available to you.
All right. So some of the most common questions that we get about education abroad are about program costs, scholarships, and financial aid. So I want to briefly go over some financial information. There is much more information available on our website, and I'll put the link to our finances page in the chat here. So there are many different program options available to students, and many of these programs have been designed to be affordable for most students. A recurring theme in this presentation is that careful planning ahead is key to ensuring that you have time to research and select the right program, and also so that you have time to apply for any scholarships or aid. Scholarship deadlines tend to be fairly early, so it really is important to plan ahead. Financial aid is often portable, which means that you can use the funding you receive to pay for an education abroad program just as you would for a term on grounds. And this is the case primarily for semester or year-long programs. There are additional scholarships, grants, and loans that are specifically available for education abroad programs. So the Education Abroad website includes tools for comparing program costs, lists of scholarships available to study abroad students, and information about using financial aid abroad. So in terms of financial aid a little more specifically, a lot of students don't know things like existing financial aid can often transfer to your abroad program if you go for a semester or academic year. Depending on the program, out-of-state students may end up paying less for their abroad experience than they would at UVA. And there are scholarships specifically for education abroad. For example, the International Studies Office alone administers more than a dozen different awards and offers one common application for most of them. And lastly, the ISO has a passport grant program, which awards a grant that covers the cost of a passport for students who receive a Pell Grant and need a new or first-time passport. So there are resources available, and we encourage you to take a look at our website and to reach out with any questions and to plan ahead. So we're also often asked about health and safety, and so we just want to put some information and some resources in front of you about that as well. First off, education abroad resumed last summer, and we are working with students now who are planning to study abroad in summer and fall 2022, which is very exciting. Education abroad does look a little bit different in some places right now due to COVID restrictions, but it is happening, which is great. So here are some key resources to familiarize yourself with, and feel free to share these with parents, guardians, or others involved in your education. So first off, the university policy on student international travel outlines how UVA makes decisions about university-related travel, including education abroad programs. And this policy helps to decide whether travel can be carried out safely in a particular location or in general, based on information from a variety of different sources. The full policy is linked under the About Us page of the Education Abroad website. There is currently a university restriction on all student international travel due to COVID-19, which does impact education abroad. However, thanks to health and safety measures implemented by travel and program providers and individual nations, expanded access to COVID-19 vaccines and boosters, and careful student planning, the university is allowing a number of students to travel abroad for university-related purposes. And we are working with students on COVID-specific preparation through the application process. Another great resource is our health and safety page, which is on our website. And you can take a look at that to learn more about what UVA does to help ensure your safety abroad. And you can find links to additional resources there as well. Our COVID considerations page outlines detailed information about expectations and current policies and procedures regarding COVID-19 and education abroad. The withdrawal, cancellation, and refund policy for education abroad outlines the financial implications of program cancellations or individual student withdrawal. And this is one of the requirements in all of our applications. So if you apply to study abroad or for an education abroad program, you will familiarize yourself with this document, but it's also publicly available on our website. And lastly, all UVA students who study abroad are required to enroll in CISI insurance, and this insurance covers medical care abroad as well as emergency assistance. Additional trip insurance, which covers costs that could arise from like a change in travel plans or something like that, is optional, but it is something that we do recommend. One final key resource that you can draw on as you explore options and plan for an education abroad experience is the International Studies Office. So the ISO is charged with facilitating education abroad for UVA students, which it does alongside supporting international students and scholars. The office is located on the second floor of Minor Hall, which is right by the amphitheater. Within the ISO, education abroad advisors, including Liz and myself, are responsible for advising students interested in education abroad. We also manage UVA delivered programs. All of the education abroad advisors are conducting advising appointments both on Zoom and in person, and you can sign up for an advising appointment on our website. And you can also call or email the office at any point in time. We are available and ready and excited to talk to you. Throughout the semester, we are also conducting other information sessions like this one, and then sessions to discuss some more specific topics like how to choose a program, global internships, and that kind of thing. You can click on the outreach button, which is on our website's homepage, to see details about these sessions and to register. And also there's additional resources on that outreach page as well. And one final resource that I want to mention is that you may be interested in hearing from a student who has participated in an education abroad program, just to know what their experience was like. Returnees are a fantastic resource for getting a peer's perspective on a particular location or a particular program. If you want to connect with a returnee who studied on a program or in a location of interest to you, you can click on the returnee contact list button on our website's homepage. And you can also, in that returnee contact list, search by major or school, which can also be a really helpful way to learn more about some different programs. All right, so Now you know why you should participate in education abroad, and you know that the ISO is here to support you, and there are other great resources available. But what's next if you're ready to take the next step? So this slide outlines how to get started, and all of these can be completed from the Education Abroad website. So first, we encourage you to watch the Education Abroad workshop and take the quiz. This workshop is going to give you much more detailed information about program options, how finances work, the application process, and more. There are a wealth of resources on our website, including getting started, a post-workshop checklist, finances and scholarships, how to apply. In particular, I want to draw your attention to a section called Choose Your Program, and that has a number of pages in that section around things like your identity. That's where the major advising information can be found. And then using the program search to actually search for programs. And the program search allows you to filter in a variety of different ways. Maybe you want to look at programs in a specific location, or programs that offer a specific classes in a specific subject area. You can filter in quite a number of ways. You can also feel free to make an advising appointment with an Education Abroad advisor to ask questions and discuss programs or locations that you're considering. Some program applications require a meeting, others don't, but regardless of whether or not your application requires it, we're happy to meet with you and talk with you about options and plans. If you are having questions about transfer credit in your degree program, we encourage you to reach out to Dean Osmond with those questions. So that concludes this portion of our info session. So at this point, I'm going to put some more links in the chat from the last few slides. But if you do have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat, or you can also unmute yourself and ask.
Yeah, there was a question about if international students are eligible for scholarships.
Excellent question. Do you want to take that one, Liz?
As far as I know, they are. Yeah, I believe that scholarships are open to international students, whereas some financially generally isn't. Anyone else have any questions about? Education abroad while you're here at UVA?
Some questions coming in, which is great.
Yeah, there was a question about which ROTC classes would be taken. I'm not clear on that. There is a section on our site, I believe, for ROTC, but it would probably be a discussion that you would have with ROTC and then with your education abroad advisor to try and find a way to make that work.
I think you're right, Liz. That's my understanding as well.
And yes, we do have semester programs. So there's fall and spring semester, there's summer programs, which can be programs that are, faculty led. So a UVA faculty member, 2-member grad student would take a group of maybe 12 to 20 students to a location and do a course on site. There's also some other outside program providers that we work with that have summer programs ranging, 2-3 weeks up through maybe 8 weeks. So you can search on the website by term and find it summer. And then we also have January term options. And again, those are the faculty-led programs that run between usually a couple days right after Christmas through a day or two before spring semester starts. And again, that would be a faculty member or two taking a group of students to a location. Your financial aid is portable for the semesters. Generally in the summer, financial aid is in the form of loans, which is why we talk about the semester option here. But yes, there are programs throughout the year available to students. In residency credits, so direct credits, right? Again, it's going to depend on the program. So if you're a student who is up against that 60 transfer credits, so you really need UVA credits for your abroad program, when you do the program search, you can search by credit type and select direct credit. The things that you see out there that are UVA in and then a location will be, I think, almost exclusively direct credit programs. So that is one of the parameters you can use. And if it's a direct credit program, it would usually be a UVA in, and most of those are summer and J-term, but we have a few semester options on which you can earn direct UVA credit.
There was one of the first questions was student third-year transfer who just transferred this semester to the college, and when would be the first semester that they could study abroad. So for that, I'll direct attention to the college's study abroad information page, and under eligibility, I think it's, let's see, the third point, it says students in their first semester in a spring term should talk with the International Studies Office about which late starting summer or fall programs are available to them. So it may be possible that some fall programs may be available if you're looking for a semester, but that is sort of a case by case conversation as to your specific situation and eligibility.
Thank you all for joining us. I hope that we've given you some information so that you can start or continue with this process you've already started by showing up here, thinking about education abroad, what are your options, where you can go, what you can study. There's a myriad of programs out there, year-long, semester, summer, January, summer, programs in English, programs in other languages, programs to fulfill your major, your minor, programs to just have an experience abroad doing something that you wouldn't have maybe thought of doing, but this is the time in your life when you have the resources and the support to do it. So thank you for joining us. Please reach out if you have any additional questions. And we hope to be working with you all and getting you out of here.
Thank you so much for your time. Enjoy the rest of your day.